time to grow with the SEO Queen. Receive the perfect leads like never before. No traffic is gonna explode. It's time to grow.
Welcome to the Jazz and Technology with Lady Z, a podcast about the secrets of success in technology, music, and business on Bashani Radio, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Bashani Radio, always talking about everything from New York City. You can listen to the Jazz and Technology with Lady Z on any mobile phone or tablet device. The Jazz and Technology with Lady Z, where we explore tech and enjoy the music and learn the secrets to music and technological success. Please follow us online at www.ladyz.com and on all social networks at Lady Z. Please make sure you follow us on Instagram at LADYZHE. My next guest is a radio show host, producer, MC, rapper, instrumentalist, multi-instrumentalist, none other than the ZYG 808. So I ran across this young man through Blacktopia, and I loved his energy, and it just really reminded me of like old school hip hop and the storytellers, and I was completely there for it. So I wanted to introduce you, my dear listeners, to this young man. And how are you?
I'm great, just, yeah, it's funny you bring up Blacktopia because, I've been, in contact with them for a while now. It's like back in 2018 when I had my demo come out, I had a meet and greet with DJs on there, and they played a couple of my tracks. That was fun.
Yeah. Like Blacktopia is really dope. I like the community. Yeah, so I want to know, what grade are you in? Have you graduated from high school yet?
One more year till I graduate. I actually just turned 17 2 weeks ago. My birthday was June 11th, and I just finished my junior year of high school.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Wow, that's pretty dope. So how did you come up with the name ZYG 808? I know what the 808 means, but
yeah, it's the drum machine. ZYG, there's actually a couple of meanings behind that one. There's ZYG in the supreme alphabet, zigzag, zig, Y, God, and that means the path of knowledge is a journey full of challenges.
That one more time. The path to God is a journey full of challenges? Of challenges.
Rise above the 85% of the stand in your way, yes.
Right. So I know that you are a very, very, you're a deep thinker. I've seen some of your speeches, presentations that you've given. So what kind of sparked your artistic perspective?
My artistic perspective kind of developed over a period of years, really, because I was into music really straight out of the gate. When I tell this story all the time, and a lot of people don't believe this, but when my mom was still pregnant with me, my dad would tap on her stomach and I would tap back to him. Like he'd tap a rhythm, I'd tap a rhythm, and then it was a fun, game that we had. And when I was younger, I would be always just banging on stuff in the house. And then when I was 4, that's when I got my first drum set. It was like one of those little black and white First Act Discovery ones. Then I got like a proper drum set for my 10th birthday in 4th grade. And that's when I started actually playing. I ended up joining band. I joined band in 4th grade, actually. The following year, I started with jazz band. And then in middle school was when I started rapping. I had demos that I was doing with my cousin, JJ Nice. We still actually work together, actually.
Oh, that's cool, keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what are all the instruments that you play?
Of the instruments that I can play well is drums and the vibraphone, and I'm getting better at piano. I can play either chords or melodies, but not both. Like in the beats that I make where, you know, there's chords and melodies on the piano, I do one track of the chords and one track of the melodies. You know, I've been practicing more though.
Okay, that's cool. So when did you know? So when you were a baby, and by the way, I believe you that your dad would catch rhythms when you were a baby. I believe you. Because children are smarter than people give them credit for. I'm convinced. I'm definitely convinced because I've seen my friend drop some knowledge on me, and I thought, oh, you were really paying attention. So babies are smarter than people give them credit for, I think. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, you look at the phrase "truth from the mouths of babes." There's got to be something behind that if they've been saying that for so long.
Right.
And there's truth to it. Played like multiple times throughout human events.
All right. So tell me about your radio show. How did that come about? And what is the name of your radio show?
The name of my radio show is The Cypher, and at first when I started it, it was it's actually through the dual enrollment classes that I was doing at the local community college on Cape Cod. You know, I started doing dual enrollment classes in September of this past school year. And since I basically was a student at 4Cs, I could, get involved with the radio club, which I did. And I was already pretty good friends with the general manager of the station, Naomi Arenberg. And that's how I ended up getting my original slot, which was Wednesdays at 6:30. And then around the same time, it was when I began also posting the weekly episodes of my show to a podcasting site. Originally, I was using Podomatic, but now I'm using Mixcloud because, well, it's easier because with Podomatic, unless you pay a certain amount of money per month, there's only a certain amount of megabytes that you can use that you can have uploaded for shows, which is kind of dumb, but it's what they do. So
okay,
switch to Mixcloud because unlimited is clouded. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And when the whole COVID shutdown happened, when the whole COVID shutdown happened, I wasn't able to, actually get to the physical radio station. So I, was on hiatus for a little bit, but, now I'm back, Thursdays at 9:30. And what my show kind of specializes in is indie artists. So I have actually a link on my website for artists to submit their music. It has to be clean, obviously. They submit their music and it gets played on the show. And also I post a playlist to my Instagram and my Facebook.
That's awesome. So what made you not only, write and produce your own music, but then go into radio? What drew you to radio?
Well, I mean, radio just seemed like a fun idea, because I like making music. I also like listening to music, and I like playing music. And a lot of artists end up going into radio anyways, and it works and it's fun for the most part. So why not just go down another avenue? Right.
That makes a lot of sense. So when you meet people and they are probably surprised that you're so young and so just self-aware and ambitious and like doing your thing, like what is your response to that?
I usually just make sure that I get in contact with them somehow so that we can work together.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So
as far as the being, yeah.
So finish your thought. Go ahead.
Okay. So as far as the thing of being young, that's just everybody's young at one point, and I have the things that I want to do, and I have the means to do them. So why not just start now? So you start the foundation when you're still young, and then by the time that you're 20, there you go. You're like on your way to being set. Plus, music is something that I love doing, so why not? Yeah.
That's smart. So you have some projects that's dropping on the 1st, and for the listeners to know, I submitted some footage for this video. So tell our listeners a little bit about that single and that video that's dropping in your recorded project.
Yeah, so yes, the single. That one took me like a couple of days, like 2 days, and it wasn't even a thing of writer's block. It was also when I was recording it, it was May, so it was like finals week, not for high school but for my college classes, for my my communications class, I had a project due, and for my English class I had a paper. And for my math class, there was a big test. So, that kind of halted a lot of music production. But then, I finally finished it. And then me and my dad, who directed the video, we both were brainstorming. And I think it was one of us who had come up with the idea for the video theme to be a Zoom call, or me doing a performance on Instagram Live and people are watching. And yeah, it was just, we'd ask people, and we sent out invites, and we sent like a version of the song for people to dance to, and we got a whole bunch of submissions. A few friends of mine actually end up in the video. A couple of my longtime collaborators, JJ Nice makes a cameo in the video, and also my friend Rock Dicey, who I'm gonna be working with, and I already have some tracks out with him. He's gonna be in the video also.
Okay, that's super dope. It's a family and friend affair. So we just had Father's Day, so I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about what impact has your dad had on your music and your art.
Well, my dad and I work together all the time. That's the thing, He also had a big influence on a lot of my early music tastes, because a lot of the music that I was listening to early on was what he had playing in the car stereo.
Now,
so
what type of
music
what did he expose you to? What kind of music did you enjoy listening to growing up?
Well, there was a lot of funk. I developed a really early appreciation for James Brown. And let's see, there was some Biggie playing in the car. There were like a couple of Tupac songs. I think there was some like NWA, but that was like later on when they started playing that with me around. Because I was sort of impressionable as a kid, so we made sure that what he played around me didn't have a lot of swears in it. So there was a lot of Rakim also. And there was like some Wu-Tang, there was Heavy D, Curtis Blow, lot of the older people.
Wow, that's good.
And some CeeLo Green also, like
Gnarls
Barkley.
So what is the best piece of advice that your dad has given you so far?
The best piece of advice that my dad has given me so far, there are 3 types of people in the music industry, and in the end, only one actually wins. That's the advice.
I'm listening. Okay, break it down. What are the 3 types?
Oh, I've never had to go into it before. So, oh wait, you have a child in the room. You might want to send him out.
Let me send him out so you can speak freely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There. Okay, so 3 types are pimps, hoes, and hustlers. Those are the 3 types in the music industry. Pimps, hoes, and hustlers.
I can see that. I can see why he would say that.
Yeah. And in the end, the hustlers are the ones who actually win for real. Because
I
you
agree.
know.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now, would you ever consider a major label deal if one was offered?
It would depend on what the details of the deal were.
That
That's
makes sense.
a really big thing as far as how I would go. Because like if it's a 360,
then no.
I'm kind of sketched out by the concept of a 360.
Yeah, I
because
think that's smart.
I see a lot of artists that listen to, and some that I don't even like, but they're always, you know, complaining about some type of label drama. Like
Right.
Lil Uzi Vert always complaining on Twitter about how DJ Drama wasn't letting him drop music and how his fans had to end up waiting 2 years for an album, you know, or Meg Thee Stallion basically talking about the same thing, her label not letting her drop music, or Rich the Kid having some other sort of unspecified problem with his label, or Lil Wayne and Carter 5. What I would really want is like distribution and promotion.
Right. So my final question to you are, what are 3 things that you would advise an independent artist to do to get success?
Well, 3 things. Well, let's see. Number one of the most important things is network. Always find more people to work with, you know, more people to show your music to, and, you know, just like either find a community to be a part of or build one of your own. That's one important thing. Another thing is just make sure that the actual product that you have, like the music, is good, is, you know, as close to top tier, as close to, you know, the high pinnacle. That's the word that I was using, that I was trying to use, as it can be. And also any opportunities that come your way, that you know, first look into them extensively, and, you know, if it's worth it, if it's absolutely worth it, then just, you know, go for it.
You know what? I really like your third point. I really like your third point, because that kind of goes to the best advice that your father gave you about the 3 types of people in the industry, and it's really easy to get taken advantage of if you don't do your due diligence. I'm thinking of several popular scams in the music industry right now that, you know, the people who perpetrate it are making literally hundreds and thousands off of musicians, hopeful musicians, and they're not doing anything with their music. They're not promoting it. They're not doing anything. So I think that's really important for artists, you know, to do their research. I definitely agree with that point.
So I've heard a lot of people recently complaining about New England mixtapes and saying that they do business kind of dirty, and I'm not saying anything. I don't think that they do, but, you know, there was like one thing that I saw that was kind of sort of sketchy, not like full on sketchy, but like, you know, something didn't like fully sit right. I ended up entering a freestyle competition with New England mixtapes, and I ended up making it to the second round, but I ended up getting beaten out in the second round by this guy named Andrell, who's actually, you know, he's really good. He makes really good music. But there were a couple of people who had lost that ended up like being advanced for you know, knockout things in the second round anyways, despite losing. Like, I'm not gonna name any names, but you know, there was like a few people, and a couple of them weren't exactly what the kids would call good, you know. But you know, to each their own.
Right, to each their own.
Like, that's just a thing that I noticed.
So I wanted to talk.
Like fun.
I really appreciate the time that you have spent on this, and I'm actually I'm down to 24% on my computer now, so I need to put it back on the charger. But I thank you for coming on to the Jazz and Tech Lounge with Lady Z. And do you have any contact information on how people can connect with you that you'd like to share?
Sure. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are at the ZYG808. That's the ZYG, the number 8, the number 0, and the number 8. The two emails to reach out to are either the ZYG808@gmail.com or soulpoetsrecords@gmail.com. Also, follow Soul Poets Records on Instagram, because that's another place where you can get information on me, and also an artist that I'm working with by the name of Rock Dicey. You know, we post some of his stuff on there too. And let's see, YouTube is the ZYG808 Vivo. That's one of the places where the video is going to be available. There's also, I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Amazon, and Tidal also. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Let's see.
For
Thumpin'.
Thumpin' is the name of the song that's coming out, right?
Oh, yeah. Thumpin' comes out July. Yeah, the name of the song is Thumpin'. That comes out July 1st, and I have a collaboration with Rock Dicey and Lil Redhead coming out July 15th. That one's called 3Ms. I did the beat for that one.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Jazz and Tech Lounge with Lady Z.